Viewers, welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. That's a fresh one here, right from the auction. PA one owner, 07 Nissan Frontier. It's got the big 4.0 in it. She's four-wheel peel, Nisimo edition. The used car guy dropped it off. It's up to us to have a look at. It's got some quirky things going on with it. One of them being the monitors weren't set, and the battery dies every time you leave it sitting. I noticed that when you shut the key off, the marker lights turn on and stay on for at least 10 minutes. Thought maybe that had something to do with the battery going dead, but however I can hear, this car's been sitting here shut off overnight. I had a charger on it set on nuclear to get the battery up to snuff, and you can hear something in the vehicle is on. You hear this very high frequency whoo, like that. I don't know what it is, but I assume that's probably what's killing our battery too. What I want to do is attempt to get a drive cycle done on it so we can see, A, do the monitors stay when you shut the key off? He was concerned about that. And B, how many lights are going to come on. I did drive it a little bit yesterday. Got all the monitors except for two of them. It did set a couple pending codes, so I'm going to take and start it up and drive it this morning and see if I can finish a drive cycle, finish the second trip so those pending codes become mature codes, and then hopefully at that point I can say, hey, used car guy, here's the codes we have, the drive cycle's done, and this is why your battery's going dead. And that's that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take it for a rip, get the rest of the drive cycle, hopefully, and then we'll take her from there. Didn't make it too far down Main Street here. Whatever one of the pending codes was, fully matured. So now we have a MIL, or your service engine soon light there is on. It's a code for the fuel level sensor, circuit high, I believe it was. And then, of course, we got the classic tire light. I'm going to keep cruising, see if we can get the whole cycle done. So we got 2 incompletes, 5 readies, 2 codes. I don't think we're going to get the evap to run because of the broken fuel gauge. And I think it's the O2 sensor monitor hasn't run, which is kind of bizarre. So now we have 2 pendings, 2 current. So same thing I had yesterday, except they were just both pending. So fuel level sensor, evap vent control shorted. And then as far as what's not run yet is the O2. Yeah, so the incomplete, oh, nope, never mind, it just ran. So if we go back to vehicle status, we're probably down to 1 monitor. Yeah, so we got 1 incomplete, which is just the evap, which is understandable because the fuel level sensor doesn't work. So that is our only incomplete. So I'm happy with that. And those are the codes we have. So this would have to be fixed in order to run the evap monitor, the fuel level sensor. If it doesn't know how much fuel's in it, it usually will stop the evap monitor. So we have this to work with. We have 2 codes, and then we have the fact that, make sure I'm not going to get hit in the road here, the fact that the battery goes dead overnight. But like I say, probably foolishly I should have looked at it before we left to see what that humming noise was, but I'm assuming whatever the problem is, it's not going away. So let's get started. Back at the shop, folks, and just like we mentioned in the previous clip, those are the 2 codes that we have. Got a little sidetracked here, so I do want to show you something. And this was, I think, part of something that is wrong, but you can see right now, the lights and stuff are not on. The marker lights do work. However, when you take the ignition key here, and you just turn it on, everything's cool, no marker lights are on, no backlighting, nothing like that. But when you shut it off for a period of time, these marker lights remain on. So the front and rear marker lights remain on. I'm going to take, and just for poop and laughter, I'm going to see how long they stay on. I'm going to put them on a timer and see. It's quite a while. I would say a good 10-15 minutes would be my guess. And nothing seems to affect it. Like I said, there's no backlighting on. If we turn on the actual marker lights, the backlighting lights up. It's just kind of bizarre. I don't know if that has something to do with the battery going dead business or what the story is. And it may seem irrelevant to you to know how long they stay on, but it may be relevant in the future when we know, like if it's an exact period of time, like they stay on exactly 5 minutes, well, it might be helpful. I'm going to do that like this. Key on. We've got the stopwatch. Key off. Start the stopwatch. And then we wait. bada bing, bada boom there, folks. Coincidence? I think not. 10 minutes and a second. So what's that mean, Erico? I don't know. It means that the light shut off after 10 minutes, which could be a module timing out, more than likely. If I had to take a big fat guess, that's what I would think. We can do it again definitively to see like every single time it shuts off in the same exact amount of time, because that would be something to know. But being that my belly told me it's about 10 minutes, and then we see that it is 10 minutes, good guess on my part, I guess. So we'll just kind of keep that in our mind. I don't believe if they were shorted to a power source, obviously they'd be on all the time or something like that, but it's just something that we need to know. Now we have to proceed. We can check out the battery draw. We got to check out the engine light. Don't know if any of that stuff's related. I doubt it. The car did come from an auction. Now that makes it junk, because not all cars at the auction are junk, but every junk car is at the auction. What's up, Mrs. O? You dressed like that for me today?
Always.
What's up?
I need your help.
Really? Emotionally? Or physically? Both.
We'll see.
Ooh, baby. At this point in time, I'm going to go eat some lunch with my bride. I've got the car. Doors are opened. Door switches are pinched off. Door latches are tripped. Key is off. Doors are locked. The system is armed. I took the power supply off it. I'm going to let it sit while I go eat lunch. We're going to come back. We're going to see how much current is being drawn from the battery, what's killing this battery, see if we can't trace down that circuit so we can write it down, and then we're going to move on with the check engine light, see if the two items are related or not. That way we can give our used car guy the full list, and he can say yay or nay, and we can move on. Oh, several hours have passed. Where's the time gone? I do not know, but lunch is over. We dug out the amp meter here. We're going to go to a graphing meter. We will go amps internal. We'll jack her up. This is up to 10 amps on this little guy. We can flow through it. And that's where we'll start. We'll start right up on the high scale. I'll set this over here where nobody can see it. If I get it just right, we'll get a glare to be perfect. We're going to loosen up the negative battery terminal. We don't want to lose connection though, so we're just going to kind of wiggle it up here, keeping it tight. Hook one lead to the cable there. Get the other lead hooked under here. Whoa, that's a big honky tonk draw. 2.5 amps. That's a big one, folks. That battery indeed would go dead very quickly at the 2.6 amp range. Now, like I said, I hear something humming, but I've walked around this car 10 times here and I can't identify it. Just kind of weird. What I think we should do is we'll approach it like anything. You know, we know that there's something humming, there's something turned on. We'll go into the fuse box here, see which fuse is drawing the current by measuring the voltage drop across them. And then once we find the offending fuse, we'll yank it out, see if our draw goes away, and then we'll have to look at a diagram to see what it runs. Get out this meter here. We're going to set her up on the millivolt scale. I've done a couple videos on it, testing your car to see why the battery dies overnight. So you can refer to them if you want to know the exact method. Well, this is all broke, the exact method we're using, so this is already, somebody's already been in here. Now we're going to rip down the fuses. If I get it where you guys can see or not. I think these come right out. They're up here in the open. Well, we'll start up on the top. We'll go right down through them, see if we can find out who's the bad guy. What we're looking for is 0 millivolts of voltage drop across each fuse. There's the bad guy right there. We can keep going, but that one has a voltage drop of 12.6 millivolts. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Right, 8 in. 8, number 8. Let's see what that one is. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. AT ECU, automatic trans ECU. Let's get a pair of pliers. That's probably what we hear humming. Can you guys see this meter here also? Probably not, because I'm good like that. 2.57. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 8. Out she goes, and the current draw is down to 0.8 milliamps. So still too much. 800 milliamps is too much. So what we need to do now, perhaps, is give it some time. Just a minute. I no longer hear our humming. So that's good. So that's part of a draw. I'm going to give it a little more time here to see if this 800 milliamp draw, perhaps that'll go away now that the transmission module, I assume that's transmission module, transmission automatic trans ECU, yeah, now training ECU is powered down. We'll see if that goes away. In the meantime, I'm going to keep poking along my fuses here to see where this other 800 milliamps is coming from. And then we'll take it from there. I didn't find any more in that bottom row on the IPDM, and also after quite a long time, nothing changed. You know, it stayed around that 785 milliamps. Now I came in here to check the interior fuse box, and foolishly I bumped my vice grip, so the horn blew once because the alarm went off, and then it blew the fuse in the meters, and then we had to wait again another 10 minutes. However, while I was waiting for the headlights to time out, or the marker lights, I went through this fuse box and I found that this fuse right here has about a 3 millivolts of voltage drop. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, number 8 from the bottom. If we look at the legend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's the highlighted one. They even tell us what the problem is. The problem is your electronic parts. Thanks, Nissan. Which one was it again here? This one here, I think. Let's yank it out and see. Let's see if that draw goes away. Where are we at? We're at 7, I can't see it from my angle. 780 something. See if this helps us at all. Come on, baby. What'd that get us down to? 3 1/4. We're getting better. Still not perfect. Not even close. Well, that's kind of bizarre, folks. We'll leave, of course that's a special little fuse. I'm going to leave this down here. I'm going to let that sit for a little while, see if it, see if more stuff times out. 300 milliamps is still too much. So I'm going over things here, rechecking my steps, and we're down to 150 milliamps, and I found some voltage drop across one of these fuses. They're kind of specialized, and that one goes in the box here, and the voltage drop is across the 40 amp portion of the fuse. So I popped the lid off it and I was able to check that, because when that's installed, I'll just stick it back in there, something over there clicks, turns back off, and then we're back to almost 300 milliamps, 280-ish. So I'm going to pull that out and leave that out, and I got to start making notes of what is making the draw, and see if I can start to find some connections between each of these items at this point. Before I go digging through diagrams or anything, I decided to play one of the oldest games in automotive history, and it is the classic game of poke and hope, and that's what we did. So you can see we're down to 12 milliamps. With the fuses reinstalled. Now that is with this fuse back in, and then the fuse that we yanked out for the trans, where that was over here, back in. However, this relay has been removed, and it's this relay here on the end, because in a last ditch effort to find out where the heck this draw is going, because I went over every visible fuse I could find, I decided to play the pluck the relay game, and I just started over here, and so we'll just pull one relay at a time to see if it makes any difference, try to gather some data. And when I got to this little guy, our draw went right to nothing. So I left this out, reinstalled the trainee fuse, reinstalled this big fuse, and our current draw stayed down to this 12 milliamps. Now I did leave this interior fuse out, that one that we pulled out in there, wherever it is, down on the floor up from the, you know, electronic parts. When I put that one back in, the draw was around 50 milliamps. But I decided for the time being, let's leave it out. We'll stick with this, you know, 12 milliamp draw that we have. And you can see, come over here, we'll stick it back in. Lots of stuff turns on and starts clicking. It might be a very broad perspective to start looking at it how we are gonna. You can see we're on this 5 amps. You can see the lights turn back on. So that has something to do with all that mumbo jumbo. So we yank it. We're back down to where we need to be in the super low amperage range. So what we need to do now, what's up, Mrs. O, is we need to find out who's in charge.
I'm in charge.
You're in charge? You're always
Unless
in
there's a
charge.
problem, then I'm not in charge.
So we got to find out who. Oh, look at this, folks. Somebody already freaking knew this. Because look at that. I didn't do that when I had to take it out. Son of a mother lover. Is this thing just mechanically stuck on? Let's go like this. Did somebody give it the big squeeze like I give Mrs. O? And now it's just stuck? Because pulling this one does no difference. However, this one's intact. Let's stick it in here. If that son of a hooski is just manually stuck on, wouldn't that be something, Mrs. O? Let's see. Oh, you little bastard. Look at that. No draw. I didn't even notice that when I pulled it out the first time. That's something I've never been good at. All right, Mrs. O. There's that. So let's flip that back around. Flip that around, put that in for me, would you?
Look it.
I didn't do that, young lady. Watch. Let me pull them out. These are not pulling out that hard. I'm barely squeezing them. This is how I'm taking them out. Am I crushing it?
Oh no, that one's not crushed.
Oops. I'm barely squeezing these suckers. I'm not doing that to them. So somebody else has already been down this road, huh? I sure didn't do this. Come on, little guy.
Well, this one's kind of broken too.
Which one?
The one.
Yeah, the one that we swapped with. Yeah, I didn't do that. There's no way I'm crushing them.
Oh, you should replace both of them.
Oh, so now you just want to start heaving parts, huh?
It's broken.
I
Look
understand.
it. Water's gonna get in there.
It's in under the hood.
What did we do with this?
Oh, let me see them. We gotta see if we can get a couple new ones. I called Napper, one, to see if they wanted to sponsor us. They said no. They told me to pound sand. They didn't. I called them to see if they had the relay, and they don't. So they told me to pound sand. So I sent my boy Josh, because he's here going like this. He's thumb twiddling, because he thought he was done with his work for the day. Because we had one no-show, jerks. And then, so I sent him down to the Wilbert's U-Pole to Bath, also not a sponsor, to see if he could find us a Nissan relay so we get the correct one. However, I made an observation prior to him leaving. I was showing, we were talking about this, we laughed, everything. And see the problem. This problem was created, obviously. But even better yet, I gotta see if you guys can see this. Let me tune down my light. There, she's on low speed. Look in the side of that relay. So, there's the plastic. Envision that you took the plastic and you smashed it in, bent it around, and pushed in the contact on the relay. Well, I'll be jiggered if that ain't what I think happened. Because look at that. You see the plastic in there? So whenever somebody grabbed it with whatever they grabbed it with to yank it out, it shoved the plastic in. And I believe it is holding against the load side contact in there. And I've got a suspicion of what they grabbed this with, which is what I've grabbed relays with in the past, is hose pinch pliers. Fantastic for pulling fuses, for getting fuel line connectors unhooked and such. But I'm pretty sure, let me grab a pair of them, I'll show you. It's these little guys right here. Fantastic when you got some arthritic fingers and your fingers hurt and you need to get in on something. Get hoses, get connectors, these things work great. However, one thing they don't work great for is grabbing a relay, something like that, trying to get it out. That's what I envisioned happen here. I've used these myself, guilty as charged. Hang me. Grabbing relays like this, pulling to get them out because you can't get these little sons of bees out without grabbing onto them. I have found though that my Kiwi pliers, wherever they went, Work fantastic. I don't know where they are. I've lost them already. They work great, and they look like the kiwi bird, hence the name, not the fruit. Where the thunder are they? My boy Josh took them with him. That's where they are. But you guys have seen them in the past. Those are my favorite fuse pulling pliers. However, relay pulling can sometimes be a son of a hooski. I've bought relay pulling pliers, and they're all garbage. These work great. Kiwi pliers work great. These can cause problems, as you can see. So I'm wondering, in theory, if we take and reach up in there with a pick and we flick that little piece out. Let's get a little pick here. Well, it's kind of floating around in there right now. We have to bust it out the rest of the way. So we can get the piece all the way out. Ha! Now you did a good thing you're not a brain surgeon. There we go. Plastics broke out of there now. But I do believe this is the contact side of the relay. That's me making the noise. I'll bet you dollars to donuts we plug it in, it works now. .13 amps. You guys can't see it from. I don't want to accidentally hook it here. Wow, just like that, somebody's ding-dong move yanking relays caused this problem, caused our lights to remain on. We could look into this super deep and say, let's pull this out again. We could look into this super deep and say, well, why did they turn off after 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. We'd have to look to see what powers this relay, you know, all kinds of crap like that. We're not going to get into it. We found the problem. We don't care. We're moving on. Wait for Josh to get back and review that. I'm going to put that fuse back on the inside, and then we're just going to have to redo our test when we're done. And lucky for the used car guy, I think he bought this thing for a son because it has these problems. So he's going to be into me for a few hours of what we've done, and then whatever the rest of this stuff is, and be able to flip a profit and not go out of business. That sounds like a reality show. If Eric O can't fix this car, he may have to lose his business. And he's got to have it done by midnight tonight. And he's already over budget, something like that.
So
nothing.
you're just gonna randomly just walk around with your camera until he gets back?
Yep, that's what I said. We got nothing to do, nothing to kill but time. Nothing but time to kill. That sounded like I'm looking for something to kill.
Yes.
What's the matter with this guy? So tell us the rest of the upgrades you're doing to your office. Besides the fact that we did some wiring, not bragging, but there's my wiring job. All right. We haven't gone up in the attic yet to move the outlets. So calm down. The blue tape is not permanent, and as red and green says, it's only temporary unless it works. So there's oh, is there stuff on your desk I can't see? I wanted to say, come here, Luna. Come here. Come here, pumpkin. Come here. Yeah, that's, oh, Luna looks so rough. So Luna was a nice stray cat. She's outside doing stray cat things, hanging out with all the other neighbor cats, getting pregnant. And then we took her in, and now she's a train wreck. Look at poor Luna. Come here, Luna. She had to go see Dr. Snip, so now she's got some stitches and whatnot.
There's no stitches. It's glued.
Oh, they super glued her?
Yeah.
So she was outside doing little cat things, and next thing you know, she's in a kitty carrier. She's got shots for fleas and shots for rabies and shots for everything, and got her insides cut out. That's because we love you. Yes, we do. It's a good girl. I know now, poor little kitty. Yeah, he's a poor baby. My man, Josh, he made it back. So here's our two OGs, the cracked one and the one that we, finished punching the hole in. He grabbed us a few of these down at Wilbert's. Couple bucks for those, all matching numbers. So we're gonna take and stick these in. Stick that one in there. We will put this one in there. The inside fuse that we took out, I put that back in, close the glove box, re-latch and shut the door. Just gonna throw the lid back on this. I'll start it, run it for a little bit, let it sit. We'll recheck the draw. If we're back down to, that 40 milliamps or wherever it ends up, below 50, adios, we're good. Been a while. It's quitting time. Still holding steady at 84 milliamps. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but 84 to 85, that's where it's at, folks. Until I know any better, I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to pick up on this after the weekend. I've been kind of on and off this truck quite a bit today. Hopefully this video is cohesive, comes together correctly, and we all know where we're at. Interesting problem there with the relay and stuff. Got my suspicions though, folks, that there is more to this story than what we're finding right now. Somebody's been fiddling. How many a man has thrown up his hands at a time when a little more effort, a little more patience would have achieved success? That's a famous quote from a man named Albert Hubbard. And that is a predicament we are in here, folks. As you can see, the Nissan is down to 13 to 20 milliamps now, depending on whether or not the little LED security light flashes inside. We just need a patience, folks. Evidently, these take several hours for everything to turn off and go to sleep, giving us the results we're looking for. This baby is fixed.